Good day, sir. I am James Andrew Santos. Today, I present my midterm presentation about network configuration and management using Windows Server. I'm from IT1G for the subject CIT 4102, System Administration and Maintenance. Next. The topics covered are configuring DHCP or Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol, DNS, Domain Name Server, and addressing of IP address. Next is implementing the network security like firewalls, network monitoring, and tips how to protecting the system for enterprise or any else. First, what is Windows Server? And what difference to regular Windows? Windows Server is a specialized operating system. It was designed for server environments. While for regular Windows like Windows 10 or the new version, Windows 11, is designed for personal use and workstation. Think of this in a simple way. The Windows Server is for server administration, like for business or enterprise. Has a built-in many function than regular Windows, like for DNS, DHCP configuration, network monitoring, database, disk cleanup, and many more. Although some of these functions have in regular Windows, it's not sufficient to use for business. And I give you another trivia. Windows or Windows 11 Pro are only support for 2 CPUs, but Windows Server supports many CPU and terabytes of RAM. Although the next version of Windows Server we can use for today is Windows Server 2022. First, before doing any setup, make sure the Windows Server is installed in our VirtualBox. In this video, we use Oracle VirtualBox. This Oracle VirtualBox is a simulation machine. There are two famous simulation machines like we use for last sem for CIA 1102, the VMware, and Oracle VirtualBox for Linux. We are things that are needed for this simulation. We need Windows Server 2022 in ISO file, which can downloadable from Windows Direct in browser. Download only the ISO file. Next is virtual machine, Oracle VirtualBox or VMware, device on your choice. Internet connection for verification. This will not work if you have no internet connection. First, what is DHCP? DHCP means Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. It gives IP addresses to computers automatically, so don't we need them to set up manually like static configuration. We just need to create a scope or IP range. By the way, Windows Server use scope or IP range for assigning IP address. Gives IP address automatically and save times for network admins. If we can use Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol or Windows Server or other server system. To set up DHCP, we install the role, authorize if we are in the domain. Then create a scope. The scope is where we define the IP address. The IP address range. Like we can use we do in Cisco Packet Tracer. We set up the IP DHCP what range. For example, like 192.168.1 to 192.168.10. That is a scope. It's another term for IP range. And another things. And another, we set up also the gateway. The gateway is the router's IP address. In this scenario, we can use 192.168.1 is our default gateway. And of course, the DNS. And lastly, we activate this scope. Next, what is DNS? DNS stands for Domain Name System. It translates names to IP or translates IP to name. Without DNS, we can difficultly find or remember the numbers of the website names, like google.com. It's difficult to memorize the IP address than to type google.com. For example, 192.168.4.2. It's difficult to remember. Unlike with DNS, it's easy to remember what is the name of that site. It's needed for website and also for server. We can difficultly note this DNS is easy to remember instead using of IP address. To set up DNS is we install also in configuration in server management. By the way, we at the end of the presentation, I show the simulation how to set up DNS, DHCP, firewall, and many more. Of course, add a DNS role. We have two kinds of DNS role, like the forward lookup zone and the reverse lookup zone. The forward lookup zone translates to domain into IP address. For example, google.com will translate to an IP address translate to 192.168.4.2, or reverse lookup zone translated to IP address to the name of the name of website. For example, 192.168.4.2 translated to google.com. In this scenario, create a new zone for this PowerPoint for forest.local. This example, forest.local translated to 192.168.4.2 for forward local zone. In the reverse local zone, IP to name, to domain name. And of course, to add records to IP address. Next, firewall setup. Open firewall settings. The firewall protects by blocking or allowing the traffic. This is also like a topic in our networking access control list or ACL. We can allow certain ports like port 80 for web address for HTTP, HTTPS for port 443, FTP, SMTP, and POP3. This is like an extended ACL setup. Next, for monitoring tools, we can use Event Viewer to show logs, Performance Monitor to show usage, use logs to detect problems. It helps to fail logins too much traffic. I give tips for best practices for protecting the system. Number 1, strong password. Use complex and unique password for all accounts. For this like Windows Server 2022, use for strong password. This is for because this is admin role. So we can use for strong password, not an easy guess password. Because if an easy guess password, it will have a chance easily to access the server and will leak the data and many more or damage. Second, regular updates and patches. Keep software up to date with latest security patches. In this, we should always update the system because the attackers and hackers find the loophole for the system. So we have always update and the patch and in the system. Next, employee training. Educate employees about security risks and best practices. Like for seminar, for employees that don't click for phishing or farming and many more. Next, last, multi-factor authentication. Use multiple methods for authentication for critical accounts. Like instead of using password only, for example, we use strong password only, we can use for another authentication like OTP. Like we use in web hosting. We use password and another OTP that will send into email or mobile phone. This will be a stronger. Instead of stronger password, we have a double lock for more safer. Thanks for watching. We will now proceed to the simulation in Windows Server 2022. Today again, we are now in simulation about using Windows Server 2022 through Oracle VirtualBox. First, I already installed the Windows Server 2022 in Oracle VirtualBox because it takes time. But I show you how to install. First, click Tools. In Tools, click New and type what is what you want to name. For this scenario, we use Windows Server 2022. Next, click for folder, Other, and select the ISO, which we can download from Windows website directly. Like this, we can see the downloads folder. This is we see the download because already download. We don't see the ISO file, but if it's not downloaded yet, we see the ISO file. After this, if now select, skip for unattended installation, and now click for finish. And now wait for some minutes to install the Windows Server 2022 in Oracle VirtualBox. I proceed to cancel this button because it's now the Windows Server in my machine is now already installed. To use Windows Server 2022 in Oracle VirtualBox is click for Windows Server 2022 and click Start. Wait for some seconds for starting with Windows Server. Wait. Yep. The Windows Server is now loading. Wait for some minutes. Wait for some minutes only. Yan. The Windows Server is now already open. In this, the keyboard will not work. In this, because we are in a virtual machine. For this, click for Input Keyboard and insert Control at Delete. Because if we press directly in our keyboard, it can't will work. It's not work. So in this process, we'll click Input and Keyboard, insert Control at Delete, and type for password. By the way, the Windows Server will request a strong password, a combination of uppercase letter, at least 8 characters with uppercase letter, and a special character. I type the password, and this will now open. This will open. For accessing the DNS and DHCP, if the person is open, the server manager will automatically open. Wait for some to load other services. By the way, I already installed the DHCP and DNS to save time for this video. But I will show you how to install the services to install DHCP and DNS. For this, click Add Rows and Features. First, click Manage. Click Add Rows and Features. And click for Server Rows. And so click the DHCP and DNS. And click Next. Next, and then install. Wait for some units. Wait for some minutes before you install the rows and like this DHCP or Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol and DNS. And next, I will show you how to use the DHCP through Windows Server 2022. First, click for Tools and select DHCP. In this, By the way, the PC name is Santos PC. Excuse me, sorry. And click, for use this, first click action and click add server. This server by the way, sorry for mistake. First click the name of the PC, which is Santos PC, and click for IPv4 and scope. Scope is like a, I said from the earlier from our report, it's a range of IP address. And click for more action, define new scope. Again, click for more action, new scope. This will be you the welcome. This will be show the new scope wizard in DHCP. For this, click next only, and click the scope name. We like to we do in Cisco packet insert the name of the DHCP pool. Example, like this example. This sysadd. We can use for this sysadd the name of the scope name, the description. It's optional. Next, configure IP address range. Enter the range of addresses that the scope distributes. For this scenario, we use the network address from the network address of 192.168.0.0. But we do not include in range. We only include the scope. Yes, we only include the scope. The 192.168. Of course, it's not include the default gateway. For this scenario, we like to include the 0.2 only, up to 0.10. The 192.168.0.10, and we will be automatically the length or the subnet mask /24, which is the subnet mask is 255.255.255.0, and click next. The starting address is not valid to this range. Sorry for interrupting. For click next. We should include the default gateway, which is 0.1 up to 0.10, because we let it work if that start from 0.1. We can see it in this video. And click for next. Add inclusion port and delay. This will be like for printer, mobile devices, and many more. For this video, we do not use that. Just click only next. For duration, how this DHCP scope will work, how many days? For this scenario, it will be work to 8 days. Configure DHCP options. We have another options. Click for yes. Next only. The default gateway. What is the router IP address, which is 192.168.0.1. Click add, then click for next. And server name. The server name is Santos PC. Click for resolve. It now automatically is set for IP address. Then that's 0.2.15. It will take time. Click for next. Win servers is not using for the day. It's an old feature for Windows Server. Click for only next. We will not use that. And the wizard will ask question, if do you want to activate this scope now? Yes, I want to activate this scope now. Click for yes. Now, within the new scope, click for finish. Now, we can see the scope, the address pool. We see from that, we can verify that start from IP address is 192.168.0.1 up to 192.168.10. if we want, this is for IPv4. If we want to use IPv6, you have a choice. But for this video, we'll not use that because the IPv4 is the most common use type of IP address. Next, I will show you about how to configure DNS. For this, click again for Manage and click for Add Roles. Click Tools and click DNS. For DNS, we have two types. Forward lookup zone. You can see translate from domain name to IP and reverse lookup IP to domain name. We can use first. I need to how to use forward lookup zone. We can use for this, click Action, click for New Zone. It will be shown for New Zone wizard, like in how to configure DHCP. And click for Only Next to continue. Zone type, this is for primary use. For secondary, because it's already exists as the zone. In this scenario, we have no existing zone for other server. We can click only for primary zone. Click Next. The zone name, for example, sysad.com. And click for Next. Click File for the server. Click for Only Next. Do not allow the dynamic updates. Do not allow. Just record manually. Or allowed for both non-secure and secure dynamic updates. That's your choice. This is for only dynamic updates. Click for Allow. And click for Finish. Yan. We have a forward lookup zone for sysad.com. Next, for reverse lookup zone. And click for Action. Again, click for New Zone. Click Next. Click for primary zone. We can choose choices for IPv4 reverse lookup zone or IPv6 reverse lookup zone. Click for Next. The relevant ID, we only type the first 3 octet. Take note, we only type the first 3 octet. Example, the 192.168. This will define what is the network address of the host ID. Example, we type the 192.168.0. That's only we are type. And click for Next. And click for File. Next. Again, we can just allow the updates automatically or not. For this scenario, we click the allow the live updates. And click for Finish. That's it. We have a DNS. We configure the DNS for 192.168.0, but we look is in a reverse order. We also use for the forward lookup zone for sysad.com and the reverse lookup zone. Next, I will teach you how to configure the firewall. To configure firewall, search for Windows dependent. Click for firewall. Search for Windows Defender Firewall. And click for Advanced Settings. We can see this is like a configuring an ACL or access control list. We can show the inbound or outbound rules. It's for in or allowing to enter the network traffic, or outbound for to going outside the network traffic. For this, click for the first, click for inbound rules. Click for new rule. Click for new rule. This will be show the new inbound rule wizard. What type of the rule we like to create for program, port, or for port only for program, for control connection for the program, rule for port only, or custom. For this, we like to use for port. And the wizard will ask the question, does this rule apply to TCP or UDP? If we choose this TCP, it will only specify the local ports. We have a choice, all local ports, or specify local ports. If we click all local ports, this will be mean like configuring Cisco permit IP any. It means we like to accept any IP, any network traffic for any port. We like to permit any network traffic and for all local ports. But if we click specified local ports, it will be show for any, like, if you type 80 or 443, yan lang payagan. We type like 80 for HTTP, 443 for HTTPS or Hypertext Transfer Protocol Secure, and click for allow the connection. The wizard will ask, what is the type of connection? For allow, this will be show a permit or block or deny. For the like for Cisco deny, and for block will block the connection for 80 and 443. For this scenario, we use allow the connection. And click for next. When does this rule apply? So automatically click for next only. What is the name of ACL? Like for naming ACL in packet tracer, use for sysadd. Again, use sysadd. The description, it's optional. Click for finish. That's it. We are now inbound rules for permitting that port 80 and port 443. Next, for outbound rules. Same again. Click for new rule. This will show the wizard again. Click for program, port, or control. For this scenario, we click for program. For program, we have a file. For this scenario, we have no file for this sample. This is only for use for port only. This rule is applied for. Does this rule will ask again for TCP or UDP? Choose for UDP. For this, the UDP is for only port 53. Click for next. And what action should be taken when the connection matches port is speaker division? We only allow the connection. Allow the connection if secure. Kaya for this, we'll have a IPsec. Like a security for that connection. Like a secure tunnel that will be studied for the future in networking. That have a secure tunnel. But in this scenario, we'll only block the connection. Block the connection only. And click for next. And click for domain. And it's about apply. Click for next. The name. Example, like name net3. Click for finish. And see the sign, the symbol sign of block. For check, which will for allow, but it's easy to delete. You can see the properties. If I want to delete these rules, just only delete. Like for deleting in packet tracer for no, delete. It will show. I want to delete these rules. Click for yes. You can see that no, the net3 outbound rule is now already deleted. It will also delete if we want this. This is add, delete. That's it. Next, how to use event viewer for monitoring logs. Search for event viewer. This event viewer will show the logs, like for custom views, the server role. Yeah, but see, we have a warning. It's like a logs. What you will do in our system? We can show the warning sign, the error, and Windows log. We can show the number of events for application with 134, security, setup. That's it. We can see the main information for this. for warning of some problems. Yan, we can see that problem. The reason supplied by user Santos PC was an unexpected shutdown. This automatically lags in event viewer because this system is now out because we have an unexpected shutdown for this system. The event viewer will lag for this problem because this is not a good for unexpected shutdown. For information only, click for information. Like for this will show the Windows Update service or the running state. And last, for subscription. By the way, this we have no subscription for this, but if we have a subscription on this, we can see like for Microsoft Office, Grammarly, Killbot, and many more. For application, we are the administrative type for AT Advanced. Information only, click for another random. We have a problem for this. This will show for another problem. But this is only show what is the problem, but will not solution for that problem. We should only show what is the problem. Next, click for performance monitor. It will show what kind of for performance monitor. Will show the name of PC, the network adapter, physical disk, the temperature, and many more. We will show the graph. It's like for task manager. What is the currently update or what is the situation of the CPU? When the process time, you can see the scale 1.0 processor time, and many more. In this event manager, by the way, I always remind you, use for strong password because this is the if the hacker has access to server manager, she will use for anything. Will be block for connection, copy all files, setting for a new IP, pwedeng iba yung IP, o pwedeng it will be allowed to delete the DNS for that business, or change the IP address, or change the name if the hacker has access to the server manager. Because all of these have many administrative tools, like for the display app, it's only remove unnecessary things. And that's it. If you have any questions, those hesitate to ask me through Canvas or Messenger. And by the way, this is not only for use for Windows Server. We can also use for Linux and for another operating system. And that's it. Thank you. Once again, I am Santos. Thank you. I'm sorry, I forgot to add this, how to configure static IP in this server. First, search for Ethernet settings, and click for Network and Sharing Center. Click for Change Adapter Settings, and click for Change Adapter Settings. Click for Ethernet, and click for Properties. And find the IPv4, which you can use the Internet Protocol version 4 TCP or IPv4, and use the following. Click or use the following. Enter the static IP for this internet for this server. I will enter this. I want to IP address like 192.168.2. Automatically generated the standard mask of 255.255.0, and the default gateway is Of course, the 192.168, the first usable, 0.1. Click or OK. Which will show the DNS server list is empty because we didn't from the last already deleted the DNS, but it will work because the DNS server is installed for this machine. And we can see the entered static IP for this 0.2. And that's it. Thank you. Sorry for I'm for stuttering sometimes because I have a speech impairment. Sorry. I hope to understand it. And thank you. Once again, I am Santos. If you have questions, don't hesitate to ask me. Thank you. Bye-bye.